Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Of course we're back again, and today we're going to be discussing last night's 1-0 defeat against Cardiff. Yeah, I mean, wow. You may probably recognise already, but yeah, I'm very deflated. I think it's the word. I think very deflated today. I think, look, it's obviously the day after the game, and yeah, it doesn't feel any easier really to take, to be honest with you, because you know what we produced in this match, and we will get into it, was absolutely woeful. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for coming back and checking out this video. Like I said, please do make sure you like the video. It does help with getting the video around. And hit the subscription button as well. It is free if you are new to the channel. It'd be good to keep growing this community that we've going on, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Really like doing these videos, but then also my live stream as well, which is obviously a massive part of the show. And then the vlogs as well. As obviously I did my vlog last night, and I was really happy with it, to be honest with you. So it pieced together quite nicely, and I thought I did quite a good job, a lot better than the Watford one. Not the Watford one, the one before, the Southampton one, because I was going to do one for Watford, but I didn't end up doing one. So yeah, Southampton, I feel like this one was a lot better. So, but I think it would have been even better had we have obviously won last night, and then yeah, it would have been a lot better viewing for people to watch. But yeah, so yeah, we're going to get into it then. We're going to get into it. Not going to dwell anymore. I mean, like I said, I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you. Probably with the lineups. I think, obviously, the lineups when they came out, I mean, look, I was a bit frustrated when I saw the lineup, I must admit. Because again, the persistence to keep putting Matos on the bench, I think is a terrible decision. It really is a terrible decision. And especially when you're putting Wiles on ahead of him. Now Matos, I'm a big fan of Matos, but not only that, I'm a big fan of him because what he does on that pitch is fantastic. He's outstanding. He's a special talent, yeah? He brings energy, he gets tackles in, he doesn't let the game pass him by, he doesn't get shoved off the ball easily, he's strong, he's not only good defensively, he loves a tackle, he also drives forward as well. And yeah, like I said, brings lots and lots of energy to the table. So I'm not sure why Andre decided to put him on the bench again, honestly don't know. I'm not sure what's happening there, because we can all see that he's a special talent and he's done very well since he's come into the club. And yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Obviously, the rest of the squad, I mean, look, I was pretty happy with it. Obviously, Nichols starting as always, Pearson, Hellick, Leeds. I mean, I did say Pearson potentially comes outside, but the thing is, he played obviously a free at the back again, so Pearson's classed as that centre back, so that's why he obviously was playing. But so yeah, so he wasn't obviously a right back in this game. So Wiles, Radoni, Kasumu, Spencer, and obviously Thomas, Ward and Bergzorg. But yeah. So yeah, I was annoyed with the lineup. I wasn't particularly happy with the fact that Matos was left out again. And what can I say? I was proved right, and we'll get into the game. But I was proved right when he came on in the match last night. So I don't really know what he has to do to start games now, because he's been on the bench the past couple. He was on the bench against Leeds, and now again against. I'm not getting it. I'm sorry. So yeah, certainly has to be addressed on Sunday, but that discussion is for another day, of course. We're just gonna do this. But yeah, I mean, look, the performance yesterday, I was very much, I think we're all very, frustrated, disappointed. We expected so much better, didn't we, really? I think, looking at the game, I think overall, if you look at the game, it was a very flat game, wasn't it? It was very flat. The atmosphere kind of suited, the atmosphere was flat. Half empty stadium, not much atmosphere going on. And yeah, I think the flatness of the atmosphere pretty much summed up the flatness of the game overall. And obviously, Town, that first half, I mean, look, we were passing it along the back, we were doing things, but we weren't going anywhere with it. We weren't going anywhere. There was no urgency throughout the match. The final third, nothing in the final third. Backwards, sideways, constantly. It was just a shadow of what we've seen in recent weeks, and it kind of shocked me to an extent, because at times when we haven't had the results over the last few weeks, what we have brought to the table is something. We've brought that, that we've actually played well, but we've kind of, like I say, just thinking about maybe, from January onwards, we've had games from January onwards where we've lost, but we've took a lot from those games. We felt positive about even though we didn't want to lose, we still felt positive because of what we saw on the pitch and the application of the players, the performance, the positivity of the play. But in this game, there was absolutely none of it. There were absolutely none of it. I think that their keeper couldn't have had an easier night. Didn't lay a glove on them really at all. We had half chances, but nothing to suggest that, yeah, you know what, we tested the goalkeeper. We did well here. No, it was flat. It was lethargic. It was a pathetic performance, if I'm honest. Travelling all that way yesterday, me and many others, we expect a lot better than that. And I think the way the game panned out as well, the fact is, people are saying, oh, it'll be tiredness, this, that, and that. Hang on a minute. Just hang on a minute. Right? Stop using tiredness as an excuse. Right? Because at the end of the day, we played on Saturday lunchtime, and we played on Wednesday evening. So there is a number of days to be able to get up to speed, and that is no excuse for what we saw on the pitch. It just wasn't. And as I said, I think that we couldn't get anything going in this match. I mean, I think, likes of and there were no positives for me for this game really at all. Obviously, if you look at their goal that they scored on the half hour mark, yeah, I mean, poor defending for me. Poor defending, easy to get the cross in, too much space. The ball is a class player on that side, but too easy. And then obviously the centre backs should have done better to defend that goal. No way should he have been able to score from there. And yeah, obviously Cardiff go 1-0 up. And then you think to yourself, oh, okay then, right, is this when we're going to wake up? Is this when we're going to start to play? Nope, not at all. We didn't at all. We just continued how we was playing. Just slow, no movement. The movement last night was horrendous. Nobody was making any runs. They were all stood still. And that is just absolutely ridiculous how the movement, the lack of movement that we saw last night was, something that we haven't seen previously for quite a while, isn't it? And look, obviously it went into half-time 1-0. Thought, okay, let's regroup, let's go again in the second half, let's come out. But at that point, it never really felt like we were ever going to get back into this game. Now, he did make a few substitutions at half-time. Brody Spencer came off for Headley. I think Spencer did struggle last night. And Matos, yes, Alex Matos came on finally at half-time for Ben Wiles, who, to be quite honest with you, when we saw Ben Wiles against Sheffield Wednesday, right, and he played really, really well, didn't he, in that game, I thought to myself, yeah, maybe he's turned the corner. I wasn't getting carried away like some fans were and hyping him up, because the reality is since he's come through the door, he has been a complete utter waste of money since he's signed. And the Sheffield Wednesday game, I thought, yeah, you know what, he played well, credit where credit's due, I'll give him that, absolutely. But we need to see more of that, we need to see more. And from that game, we may have seen glimpses in games gone by, but I'm talking about overall, Ben Wiles has been absolutely horrendous. And if you just talk about last night, yeah, he's still far too slow. He's too far off the pace for me. Too far off the pace. He's, if you watch him, when you watch him quite closely on the pitch and watch what he's doing and watch how the game's going, it is incredibly easy to bypass him. As an opposition, as a player in the opposition, as an opposition player, if you're up against Ben Wiles, I think you're kind of laughing, because he's not strong enough. He doesn't get himself about enough. I don't really see. He's just gone back to his old ways. And last night was no different. He was woeful, and obviously was took off at half time. And yeah, for me, Ben Wiles shouldn't have been starting this game. And I said it before, so I'm not sure why he was on the pitch to begin with. To be honest, he may be alright as a substitute, but he's not a starter. And I certainly think he's down the pecking order. Obviously, when Hogg's back next this weekend, Hogg's above him by absolutely no question about it, is it really? But I think everybody in that area is above him, and that's just my view. I think he's just not got enough about his game, and he's not doing enough when he is on the pitch for me. And doing it in one game and then going missing again isn't enough. It isn't good enough at all. We had the second half, like I said, we had a few opportunities, but like I said, they weren't clear cut. There was one with Redone, who headed over from 4 yards out. I'm not sure what was going. I don't know what he was thinking there. That should have been a goal, a free header, and he heads it over. Not good enough. Should have scored. And then the Ward chance, of course. That is another chance that should have been in the back of the net. Sorry, any touch. He was that close to find. He was that close to the goal that any touch would have put that ball in the net. And I'm sorry, you've got to be busting a gut to get that ball. Get that ball in. And no, not good enough. Missed the ball. And yeah, but I just don't know. I just don't really know. And like I say, we did make a few other changes. Kusumu came off in the 74th minute. and Bojan came on. And so another substitution we made was Pearson came off and Tom Edwards came on. Yeah, I'm thinking what you are thinking. Honestly, we let this game just pass us by. We just let it pass us by. I said before the game it was a big opportunity to get the much needed points on the right. Felt like we had every reason to be optimistic going into this game because we'd seen what we'd seen, obviously away at Watford in the past two, and at home against Leeds with 10 men we managed to get a point. There was reason to be optimistic. There was reason to have a bit of confidence that we could go to Cardiff and get a result. But when we perform like that, I don't care who you're up against, you're not beating anybody in this league playing like we did last night. And that's just the reality. That is just reality. And like I say, we were trying to get forward, but I just feel like a lot of the time, and especially if you look at the final few minutes of the game, right? Injury time, we had the ball, we had messing around at the back. When we need to get a goal, we're messing around at the back, and it's just like we're winning, you know. Get the ball forwards instead of messing around, going back to your goalkeeper and sideways. You know, it wasn't. It's just not good enough for me at all. And I think that if you look at how we played last night, I really do think that I really hope this is just a blip, because we haven't seen this kind of performance since Darren Ball was in charge. We haven't seen this kind of performance since he was in charge, and that's worrying. That's worrying that now this kind of performance has cropped up again, and we can only hope it's a blip, because the thing is, we can't afford to have many more blips now. That's it. We can't. If we continue to have more and more of these blips, we know where we're going. And I'm afraid, like I said, this game passes by. The last 15 minutes or so of this game, thinking to yourself, come on now, let's just try and make something happen. Sorba was trying, he was getting some decent balls in. Nobody was attacking the ball, and nobody was getting near it. I thought Bergzorg, Bergzorg is very hot and cold for me. He was very, very poor yesterday as well. I think he amount of chances that he wasted in positions that he could have got the ball in, a bit of quality, just completely overhits his cross, overhits his pass. And I think also last night, the fact is, the passing was totally off. The first touches were appalling at times. We were completely off it, and like I say, we cannot perform like this. We just cannot perform like this. So overall, very lacklustre, very poor. No urgency in the final third. No urgency anyway, to be fair. Even Andre looked quite. Sometimes you kind of look over and you see him shouting at play, obviously, communicating and getting them to go forwards and things like that. But even Andre seemed flat yesterday during the game, which, obviously I did notice. Because usually he's revving up his players, isn't he, and trying to get them going. Because he even said that in his press conference in the past, where he likes to communicate with the players as the game goes on, because he knows that players need some help during the game. And by the way, Tom Edwards should not ever put that shirt back on again. the blue and white stripes, wherever we're playing, away or whatever. He should not put that shirt on again, because I'm sorry, he is an embarrassment of a so-called footballer. Yeah, we talk about the other week, yeah, where he got that assist, that lovely assist, yeah, that people were going on about, oh, Tom Edwards is back and all this rubbish. Yeah, absolute nonsense. I can bet on everything that is the only thing he will do now until the end of the season. He won't do anything else. And the fact that he brought him on when we were losing 1-0, yeah, he's clearly, I don't know what he sees in him, because he's done this twice in concession now, where he's brought him on. I don't know what he sees in him, but he's not seeing what we're seeing. Let's put it that way, because what we see is somebody that is unfit, somebody that gets bypassed. He's a defender, therefore he needs to defend. It's all right getting forward, but if you can't get back, then what's the point? He got bypassed a few times, on a number of occasions. They were constantly targeting that side, no surprise. Absolutely pathetic. And you know what? The fact that we didn't send him back in January is an utter disgrace. And the sooner he goes, the better, because he's garbage, absolute garbage. A professional footballer that, to be quite frank, is not fit. He's not fit. And he's way, way, way off championship football level. Let's put it out there, right? So, Tom Edwards, I'd rather see another youngster on the bench over him. I don't want to see him on the bench anymore. I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm done with him. He's an utter waste of space. And Andre needs to stop putting him on. He does. He needs to stop putting him on. Because the thing is, there were other options on the bench other than Tom Edwards to come on. They were. Ben Jackson could have come on. Tom HEIGHTENED, I wouldn't even minded him to come on. HEIGHTENED, I've spoke highly about him in the past. One of our youngsters. Yes, he may have not had much minutes, but it doesn't. Everybody has to get a start. Everyone has to gain minutes. You have to be given an opportunity. I do believe that Tom is a good player. But the fact is, there were options on the bench other than him. So the fact that he keeps persisting with him is pathetic. I'm sorry, it's pathetic. And then another thing is Josh Corona was sat on the bench. I'm not sure how Bergzorg lasted 90 minutes. In all due respects, he did come out after the game and he did say that was an embarrassing performance from me. So he did own up to his performance. But how he lasted the full game is beyond me. He should have been taken off, and Corona could have come on. We know he can create that spark, he can make something happen, but he just left him on the bench. So, yeah, and this is probably the first time I've kind of questioned Andre to a degree in terms of, well, not really, because I wasn't happy about his team selections against Leeds. I thought Mata should have started them, so I did actually speak up about that. But I think his in-game management in this one wasn't as good. I think that Tom Edwards shouldn't have been coming on. He did react obviously to Wiles not performing, so he brought Mattis on eventually. But again, should have been starting. Spencer was having an off time, so he brought him off too. Headley came on, did okay, did good. But I don't think barring one or two, I don't think any player can come off that pitch and be happy with what they'd produced. It was way below what he's expected, and looking ahead now, and I just kind of feel like this is kind of, we're having to start again almost, if you get me. And maybe that's been over dramatic, I don't know, but we did have momentum. We had momentum going into games. Now that momentum's been stopped with this, not only the result that was obviously a bad result, but the performance as well was really bad as well. And so we've got no positives to take away from the game. in terms of what we showed on the pitch overall. And we've also lost the game. So it's a double blow in a way, you know. And yeah, I honestly don't know. I just we can only pray and hope that this doesn't bring the wheels off now, because we haven't got the time to do that now. We've got 10 games left. 10 games. We're only out of the relegation zone on goals scored, which it's you know, and teams are picking up points around us. They're winning, they're drawing, they're picking up points, obviously. And teams are winning, most importantly, to get them out of it. So if we're not careful in the next few games, you know, I think Sunday is just even more heightened now. And I know we say that every game's a must-win game prior to this game against Cardiff. But I'm sorry, on Sunday the game is heightened even more because of the result last night, and it's just extra pressure to handle. Because if we lose, you know, mind you, it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, that we don't know what's going to happen. But it's, you know, we have to go into that game to win it now, and I think that, and the week after, going to the international break. And I think if you look back over the years about, you know, where we have been as a club, apart from the Corcoran season, obviously, when we got to the playoff final, it's just been relegation battle after relegation battle. And I'm afraid that luck does run out eventually. It comes back to haunt you if you're just constantly in that cycle more often than not. And that's what we've been doing. And you look at January recruitment, Matos, fantastic loan player that we brought in. But if you look at the so-called goal scorers that were supposed to provide us with goals, you know, Bojan, you know, Healy, at the moment, you know, and I'm kind of trying to keep, not the faith, I am kind of trying to keep the faith in these players, but at the moment they're just looking up to waste of money. You know, look at Bojan last night. Yes, people keep saying to me, and people keep saying on social media, oh, Bojan hasn't played much football, Bojan hasn't. Yeah, I know he hasn't played much football, but the reality is he came on last night and you look way, way, way off the pace, and he seems to have struggled to settle into the Championship football. I don't know, but when we saw him in that first game, when he came off in the cup against Man City, we saw him in that game and I thought, yeah, he's got something about him here. He looks quite good. You know, he looks quite bright. He was linking up play nicely. He was, you know, had a chance, didn't he, as well. But from then, we haven't seen anything. Yes, he's been injured in that time, but when we have seen him, when he's come off the bench, we haven't seen anything. For me, we just haven't. Healy, it's all well and good signing a player like him, but the fact that he's injured pretty much straight away as soon as he's come through the door, pretty much sums it up for us as a football club at the moment, I think. And obviously he's meant to be back in the next couple of weeks. But we need players now. You know, we need players now, and it looks like after the international break he should be back. But yeah, so extremely worrying. Really is a worrying to say the least. And you only have to look at what Andre said after the game as well. He even said himself that he would have took off the whole team in that, you know, for that first half showing if he could, but obviously that's not possible. But yeah, that just speaks volume. He was very angry after the game, but And I think that if you look at what Andre's doing as well, look, Andre said he wanted his own style, but wouldn't do it this season due to the threat of relegation, you know. And then yesterday, what happened? We're trying to play out the back on 92 minutes when we're 1-0 down. So I think there is issues there with the setup at the moment. I really do. You can't change things. You can't even say it yourself, but now he's doing the complete opposite, you know. And I just think the reality. I think we came crashing back down to earth yesterday, if I'm honest with you, because of what we've seen recently. You kind of felt encouraged by it, and then you just kind of think to yourself, a defeat like that last night, and you kind of think, wow, you know, it's kind of almost, even though we knew we was in trouble before this game, it's almost like a realization that yes, wow, we are in serious danger of going down. And that's not me being negative, that's just me being truthful about it, because of the pressure of where we're at the moment and the results, we can't afford to go a couple of games without picking up points now, because ultimately, if we do that, we could be soon cut adrift by 4 or 5 points, and then you are really in trouble and you're chasing the pack. I thought Matos, like I say, last night did very well when he came on. For me, starts on Sunday. He has to start on Sunday. It is pure and simple. You know, he came on, he brought energy, and he made, you know, he looked quite a bright spark in there, as he always does. Headley looked good when he came on, really stood out for me. But apart from that, I don't see anybody getting credit for yesterday. I don't. I thought Helik was good, to be fair, but obviously questionable defending for the goal he scored. Lees looks absolutely shattered. He looks gone. You know, he looks so leggy. You know, and that's a big problem, because we can't be having players that, you know, at the back especially, that just haven't got the legs. You know, especially in this division, when you come up against the players you do it, you know, the pace that you come up against. So that's concerning. He's played a lot of football as Leeds, so I get that. But everybody did look tired last night, and I'm not using that as an excuse though. I think we've had enough time to prepare for this game and to be ready, and to at least show more than we did, because let you know, it was a pathetic showing. We offered next to nothing. We didn't lay a glove on them. Their keeper didn't have a save to make, hardly. He had the easiest night he'll ever had this season. He was just extremely poor. So yeah, you know, it's a case of dusting ourselves down and going again. But I have no doubts that this result will have actually took a hit on our confidence. I think you can't, because as fans, I think we were all kind of demoralised a bit. You know, the passing needs to be back to its best at the weekend. We need to show movement. We need to do everything that we have been doing in previous week, the positivity. But first and foremost, we need to get the selection right as well, and that's obviously a massive part. You know, we probably could have played for another 90 minutes last night and we wouldn't have scored. And yeah, it's just a kind of thing of, if we play like that we did last night for the rest of the season, then yeah, we're gone. We're gone. And the reaction on Sunday has to be massive. And, you know, we can't afford, you know, we go up against a very strong team on Sunday. And, you know, the thing is as well, last night, Cardiff were nothing special either last night. They weren't. They were there to be beaten. They were there for the taking. And because we couldn't reach the levels we have, and we just played way below what we know we can do, yeah, we end up losing, because that's what happens in this league. You know, one chance, they score, and they don't do much for the rest of the game. And, you know, and like I said, the players need to look at themselves and actually get back up to speed again, because, and it's a big few days now in preparation for the weekend. You know, the players know we're in the middle of a relegation battle, and you know, that's the kind of the performance that they bring to the table last night. I mean, it really, it's just no way, it's just dross. And the fact there was no attacking threat last night, really, no. Like I said, when we went 1-0 down, and then as the game was going on into the second half and that, I never really felt like we was going to get back into it. That's how it felt to me. So, yeah, I think we've kind of summarised it the best I can. And yeah, that's it really. But yeah, thanks for all for watching. Please make sure you do smash a like, subscribe if you are new, and join me tomorrow night. We'll be looking ahead to the weekend. We're doing a match preview to the West Brom game on Sunday tomorrow night at 7 o'clock live. So come and tune in to that if you're free. Join the discussion. And yeah, I'll see you then.